Hello, Namaste. So today's yoga therapy tip is really going to be focused around the idea of rest and digest. Now, our bodies cannot do its job to balance and create homeostasis and to create an ecosystem that's advantageous to our well-being unless we learn how to rest so that our body can digest. Now, this is a running theme in yoga, so sometimes I believe that we don't pay much attention to it because we talk about it so frequently, but it's very important. So first things first is taking time to think about your intention, right? This is the first process in starting to relax the mind-body connection. Creating a sankalpa in yoga means creating a vow, like you're taking a vow, right? And when you think about the word vow, where else have we thought about taking a vow, right? Lifetime commitments. So we want to start there. We want to really think about our sankalpa, our intention as to why we are doing what we're doing. I always like to remind myself and others that I'm working with that the why is most important, right? Yoga is a philosophy. It is an ancient holistic practice that's filled with tons of observations and opportunities to get into svadhyaya, get into self-study. But most importantly, just like any other philosophy, it creates more questions than we probably have answers for, and that's appropriate. So we want to first understand the why. And once we do, we want to have non-attachment to the answer, right? Ask the question. Let the body in its own infinite wisdom send out signals to help you answer the question, the why. But then understand your why, getting into your vow, into your sankalpa, your intention is important. Understanding why you're doing what you're doing so that your body has sort of a mission, right? Not a desire, not something that has to happen at a certain time, but rather an opportunity for your body to lean in to what it needs. We just have to set up the opportunity for your body to do just that. So we start off with grounding, just taking a moment, allowing yourself to get nice and calm and gentle. I like to observe all that's happening around me, the temperature in the room. I like to hear the sounds, the smells, feel the earth beneath me, allow myself to really observe myself in time and space. And then we want to slowly bring that awareness internally. We want to withdraw from the senses around us and make it an internal practice. Now, the best way to do this typically is by sensing your breath, feeling the inhales and exhales. We can do this by placing the hands on the heart space, on the belly space, so that we can actually feel the chest rise and the belly get full. Or we can start to feel the breath moving in and out of the nostrils or in and out of the nostrils and the mouth, right? So feeling those valves. Ultimately, we eventually start to take drishti or take our eye gazes to a focus point. If our eyes are closed, we can start to envision a symbol in the mind's eye. I like to personally envision the Om symbol for universal consciousness, but you can envision a heart, which is my second favorite, right? Or just something that brings you peace, or your eye gazes can be open off the tip of your nose, maybe a spot somewhere in your sacred space. In Ayurveda, or even in the idea of Kriya, cleansing, the action of, we can do Trataka, which means we can have a candle lit and we can gaze into the candle so that we can create a point of focus, right? We can get into concentration. And then, of course, another way that we can have internal sensory is bandhas, right? So we can start to engage Mula Bandha. Maybe your hands are connected to each other in a mudra, which is another bandha or another lock. Or you can feel your tail or your feet pressing into the earth. So this is all giving you the opportunity to bring the sensories internal and you can concentrate. So we're going to ground our energy this way. We've created a vow, we're grounding our energy. And then I like, as I mentioned all of the time, to do self massage. As you're inhaling and exhaling, I like to rub my hands together, creating Ajni or creating that fire, that passion. And in Ayurveda, in yoga, there's fire in the belly, right? So we want to activate that fire. That's going to help activate digestion. We want to get into those parts of the body that needs it the most. So I like to warm my hands. I like to feel that fire growing in my body. And then I like to place the hands on the back of my neck. And I like to give myself a gentle yet firm, passionate, intentional massage. I like to get into my neck. I like to get into the nape of my neck. I like to get into my hair, into my crown, into my cowlick of my head, get into that skull. And then, of course, the shoulders. And then, this is my favorite, I like to do tapping. So I like to take my fingers and I like to start with the Bindu chakra. I just like to start to tap into the back of my head. And as you tap, you start to utilize your mantra, I am. Now, my favorite mantra is I am healthy because I want to tap that information into my nervous system. I am healthy. Inhale, I am healthy. Exhale, I am healthy. Inhale, I am healthy. Exhale, I am healthy. Or whatever mantra you're using. So you're tapping, you can go as fast or as slow as you're comfortable with, right? Slow and steady, fast and more intentional, yogi's choice. And then, of course, I like to get into the tapping into my third eye, my intuition, my temples. And if you're familiar with all of my other massages, you know I like to get into deeper face massage, facial massage, but I like to tap as well. And then ultimately, I want to get into my neck, get into that vagus nerve, and ultimately into my collarbone. So I'm tapping, I am fill in the blank as I inhale. Inhale, and you can say it out loud. You can say it in your mind's eye. Inhale, I am healthy. Exhale, I am healthy. Keep tapping. Now, let's say I'm working on a broken heart, or I'm working on my heart space. I'm working on my patience, my compassion. I might tap my heart. Let's say I want to send a message to someone I love or someone who I wish to pray for. I hope they're happy. I hope fill in the blank is healthy. And of course, we want to get into the solar plexus, right? We want to get into that digestive tract. So tapping into the digestive tract, I am fill in the blank, right? I am releasing whatever my body doesn't need. I want to let go any toxins. I want to filter out whatever doesn't serve me. I am tapping positive energy into my liver, into my digestive tract. I want to tap into my kidneys, right? I want to tap into my hips. And of course, you can tap into your sacral chakra if you're working on something specific in the pelvic area. And of course, I like to tap into my legs, right? This is helping me feel grounded, safe and secure and rooted. I am safe. I am secure. I am grounded. I am rooted. And I personally love tapping into my lumbar spine, kind of waking up my spine. It's a nice, safe place to apply some pressure or even give some massage. So just inhaling and exhaling here. All right, most importantly, when we're taking a deep inhale, our pelvic floor is releasing, right? And when we are exhaling, we are getting a little bit more tightening in there. Now, we want full releases and we want full compressions. Now, in our human experience, we tend to never take full inhales or full exhales. So what we end up doing is we end up kind of holding this space that never fully releases or never fully compresses. So imagine having, like, for lack of better idea, like a compactor, like a trash compactor, right? And let's say you never quite smush all the trash or you never open it up so that you can put more in. It's just always in this kind of middle space. Well, that's what's happening with our bladder. That's what's happening with our internal organs. They're never quite releasing or compressing to the fullest. So how do we do that? Well, we start by timing ourselves. We Inhale, 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 right? So let's say you inhale for 8 counts. And then let's say you can hold or retain that inhale. And as you're retaining that inhale, your pelvic floor is releasing, which is what we want. And then you exhale, 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 exhale. And just when you think you cannot exhale anymore, try to exhale some more. And then when we're exhaling, we're getting that compression that we want. What we don't want is superficial breathing, just a little and then a little, right? Which is what we do all day long. So every so often, every 10 minutes on the hour, we should try to take some deeper diaphragmatic breath work. We should try to be more conscientious of how we're breathing. Now, I'm going to give us a fun little tip, okay? I want to take my fingers to my thyroid, to my air traffic controller of my endocrine system, right? Your thyroid controls your endocrine system, and also that means your hormones, which is really important for self-regulation, but also for digestion, for sleep, right? Getting the body relaxed. So I like to bring my fingers, I'm not pressing into my throat, I'm just kind of putting very gentle so I can feel vibration. And as I inhale, 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 I retain that inhale, hopefully for at least 4 seconds or 4 counts. And then as I exhale, I hum. Now you can do what I call the M&Ms, which are just right? We M. We want to look for that deep alto sound, and you're going to feel that vibration. Now, when your sound is gone, for those who are, blow instrument musicians or singers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You need a little more sound when there's no more breath, and you got to kind of push it out. It's actually very healthy for the body. You're releasing more CO2, which is great, and you're not taking in so much oxygen that you don't have that balance of the CO2 to match. You want inhale, 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 let it go, let it go, let it go. Yeah? Okay. So as you inhale, you fill the lungs, get into the diaphragm, that muscle right there under the rib cage, right? We want to expand that. That can take work, right? That might feel very restricting at first. So everything takes time. And then as you exhale, you can universal consciousness, my favorite. You can say love, love. You can hum, Most importantly, as you inhale, you retain. As you exhale, you hum. And then when there's nothing left, I will give you an example. Ah. I lost sound, but I kept pushing my breath out. You want to keep going, going, going until there's nothing left. And I like to think of it as if you are kind of floating to the bottom of a pool. You took a deep inhale and then you purposely floated to the bottom of a pool, and you're down there holding your oxygen in your lungs, right? And, and then you hold, 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 and then eventually you rise to the top very calm, right? You're not afraid for your life. And then as you get back in to the oxygen, you take a deep inhale, right? That's what it should feel like for your body. So we hum, and that's how we know we're out of breath. And then we keep pushing a little bit further. So you want to time yourself on the inhale. You want to time yourself on the pause. You want to time yourself on the exhale. So I just use my little stopwatch and I just keep lapping it. Inhale, 8 seconds. Pause, 4 seconds. Exhale, 10 seconds. And then keep it going for maybe a couple of more seconds, right? So ideally, our exhalations will be either equal measure ratio to our inhale. So if you inhale for 8, you exhale for 8, or they're prolonged. If you inhale for 8, you exhale for 10, as an example. It might be 4 and 4, 4 and 8. And eventually, we want to double the exhale to the inhale. So if you inhale for 10 counts, we want to try to exhale at 20, right? Those are goals. Now, that retention in between the inhale and exhale, and then that retention after the exhale, is called valving. And this is pranayama. This is where we close down a valve. Now, you can close down a valve by simply closing a nostril, which we do on Nadi Shodhana or alternate nostril breathing. But there's other valves, right? You can get into Harian Bandha by tucking your chin into chest, which is my favorite on the exhale because it gets into the thyroid gland. You can do Mula Bandha, Hasta Bandha, Pada Bandha, Chakari Mudra, where we take the tip of the tongue to the top of the mouth. There's a lot of practices, is my point. For now, you're just going to practice inhaling, pausing, exhaling with vibration, love, M's, and then pausing at the end when there's no more sound, pushing just a little bit more air out like you're playing the saxophone. Okay. When we're done doing all of that, I love to do some cat cows. I love to press the palms of my hands into the earth with great intention, right? So we want our hands to pretend that they're seeking into, I like to say sand on a beach because that's my favorite, but it could be grass, whatever. You're feeling the earth beneath your hands. That's important. When we do cat-cow, normally we're focused on spinal flexion, which is great. We want to get into spinal flexion, but we want our intention to go to the thyroid gland. So what we're going to do is we're going to come through tabletop, and then you're going to take a deep inhale. As you exhale, you're going to tuck your chin and round your spine, getting into that bandha, Harian, right? We're closing the valve. And then you're going to inhale, draw your nose to the sky, open up your throat, open up that gland, let your belly drop, and then repeat, right? So you're going to do that several rounds of breath. Now, finally, we're going to go into progressive muscle relaxation, which I talk about a lot as well. So you're going to lie on your back in Shavasana. And then you're going to inhale, you're going to ball your fists, you're going to engage your biceps, you're going to engage your chest muscles, your back muscles, your thighs, your glutes, everything. And then exhale, release. Inhale, you're going to, and you can even do it seated, actually, if that's better for you. Inhale, squeeze into a ball. Exhale, release. Inhale, squeeze into a ball. Exhale, release. Now, the reason why I like to do it in Shavasana is because as I inhale and inhale and exhale, I do it until I fall asleep. So it's a great way to encourage your body to go to sleep. So you want to do this before you go to bed. And if this doesn't make sense to do right before you go to bed, then you can take legs up the wall and you can really get into relaxation, maybe listen to some yoga nidra and then go to bed. So those are some quick tips on how to get into a deeper pranayama practice, adding in some chanting or at least some sound, getting into some relaxation techniques, and of course, ultimately firing up the gut and getting into the digestive tract. Your intention is everything. So as you're tapping, send the messages you want your body to hear, and your body in its own infinite wisdom will listen. Take your time, have patience, non-attachment, and remember that this is an ancient holistic practice to help bring balance back to the mind, body, and spirit. All right, that does it for today. Thank you. Namaste.